veteran Jay Happ, 35 years old, good record, 10-4, 4.03 ERA. You can see less hits than innings pitched, and batting average against just 223. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Back to the beginning. He was the opening day starter against the Yankees here on March 29th. The Yankees actually beat him that afternoon as they won by a score of 6-1. He worked 4 2/3 innings, taking the loss. And since coming to the Blue Jays as a free agent a couple of years ago, he's been their best pitcher. 40 wins against just 19 losses. And he's really tough on left-handed batters. They're hitting just 173 against Jay Happ.
Take a look at the defense behind him. It's presented by Geico. Left to right across the outfield, Granderson, Pilar, and Grichuk. Solarte at third, Diaz at short. Gurriel Jr. gets the start at second with Smoke at first, and Maley will catch Happ. Roof is open again.
Oh, not a cloud in the sky.
It's just perfect.
Feels like San Diego.
It really does. That crisp air, sun shining, and ready for the middle game of this 3-game set with Brett Gardner stepping in. And hammering that ball deep to right center field, racing back, Grichuk looking up, and that is gone! Brett Gardner takes one to right center field and gives the Yankees a 1-0 lead.
Well, not wasting any time, jumping on the first pitch of the game. I pointed out last night he was pulling the ball quite a bit in batting practice. The same today. It was almost as if he was looking for something to jump on right from the start. This is going to be home run number 6 on the year and his 14th career leadoff home run. And just like that, well, people weren't even in their seats here at Rogers Center, and the Yankees are up 1-0.
Brett Gardner destroying that ball to right center field and giving Luis Severino a lead to work with.
"14 career leadoff home runs now.
Whatever he was looking for, he got.
He got it. You know, I always said leadoff hitter hits a leadoff home run. He got off the bus looking for a fastball, and he just jumped on it.
Now Judge powers one the other way, and yes, he too has gone yard. Back-to-back jacks to begin this game for the Yankees as Aaron Judge deposits home run number 25.
Well, who says batting practice doesn't pay off? Because Judge, the last 2 days, has been hitting a lot of balls hard to the right field side and got that one up in the air. That was more of a line drive as opposed to Gardner's high fly towering home run. That one got out of here a lot quicker. 2-0, just like that.
The first road opposite field home run of the season for Aaron Judge, who has 10 at home.
Here's another look. Target's low and away. That pitch was kind of up. Didn't quite get down where Maley had the glove, and Judge knew it. Line drive homer. Now, we said Happ is having a good year, but in his last 20 innings, Ryan, he's given up 14 runs. And he had a bad start in his last outing against the Tigers. He gave up 7 earned runs. So maybe he's in a downturn here as we get towards the All-Star break.
And we see the way the Yankees have pummeled left-handed pitching this season. First in homers, first in slugging, and an MLB best 21-6 against lefty starters. Catches the inside corner for a strike, count now full on Stanton, who does plenty of damage against lefties himself. He takes, tight pitch, ball 4. And after back-to-back home runs to begin this game, Stanton has walked, and Happ is still seeking his first out of the afternoon.
You know, after giving up back-to-back homers, maybe it's not a surprise that he walked Stanton, because giving up home runs, it kind of scares a pitcher maybe out of the strike zone. He gets a little more careful, and all of a sudden he's walking people.
Happ 5-1 with a 2.16 ERA against the Yankees since 2016. That's an 8-start span.
Yeah, but that loss came this year in his only start against the Yankees.
On opening day. Hicks tomahawks that foul down the left field line. Let's take a look at the Aaron Judge home run. Statcast powered by AWS. 109.2 miles an hour off the bat, 404 feet to the opposite field.
Right, and you were talking about Hicks moving around in the batting order last night. This is only the third time he's batted fourth. Primarily, he's been a number 6 hitter in the Yankee order. 28 times he started in that slot.
And I believe the first time he did it this year was in a game in Kansas City or Texas, and he said he couldn't remember if he had ever hit cleanup, even in Little League. He said not in college, not in the minors.
His stance a little different right-handed and left-handed, a little further off the plate, which gives you the opportunity to wait on the ball a little longer and hit rockets to the opposite field. When you stand closer to the plate, you have to be quick, and you're more or less looking to pull the ball. How about this, Ryan?
Number 1 in slugging in the AL since June 1st. And I should say not in high school, not in the minors. He was drafted a first-round pick out of high school. And he has walked as well.
Now we all know that Hicks has a pretty good eye, because Aaron Boone will lead him off when Brett Gardner's not in the leadoff spot. That's Pete Walker, the pitching coach, and this is sort of like a standing 8 count that you get in boxing. After you take a few heavy shots, the referee will stand you up, give you a chance to regroup. And he's not out of this one yet, even though it's the first round.
And many Yankee fans watching this start more closely from Happ, hearing the trade rumors and Happ's name connected to the Yankees, and you wonder, how do the Yankees view a start like this against their lineup from Happ? Does it affect interest at all? Does it affect price tag at all?
Yeah, well.
Big swing for Andujar, 0-1. Now, why is Jay Happ hot in the market, especially when it comes to maybe interest from the Yankees? Take a look at what he's done since 2016. Against the Red Sox, 4-0, a 1.98 ERA. Pitched well in the postseason with the Blue Jays, a 2.70 ERA in 2 starts.
Those numbers against the Red Sox might be enough to get him over to the Yankees.
Right. Aaron Boone was asked today whether or not standings and the fact that the Yankees are in a tight division race ends up playing a role when you're deciding, hey, can you let a pitcher work something out in the rotation? How much time can you give them? And he said, look, that's something you definitely take into account when you're making those decisions. And obviously the Yankees have been in this incredibly tight race with Boston.
Those questions, I bet, were in relation to Sonny Gray's pitching.
That was the context, And Boone didn't then comment on it specifically to Gray, but just said, of course, you have to take that into account as far as how long of a leash you can give people, where you are in the standings, and what the race might look like.
Well, even struggling the last 2 starts, he's going to start Wednesday in Baltimore.
He is. Aaron Boone talked about how Larry Rothschild thinks there's a few minor adjustments that they can pick up on and work on. Swing and a miss, and Duhar down on strikes for the first out.
And Duhar actually helped him out by chasing a fastball out of the zone. And that's what I mean. A veteran pitcher knows what he's doing. He's got a young hitter up there. Might be a little over aggressive, and you can see this pitch is out of the zone. We watch it on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. And Duhar more or less struck himself out on that one.
Here is Didi Gregorius, just 2 for 19 in his career against J-Hap.
And we were talking before the game, and I mentioned to you this is where the injury to Gleyber Torres plays in for the Yankees. You mentioned the 2 for 19. This might have been a day to give DD off against a pitcher who's been tough on him in the past, a left-hander. You move Torres over the short, somebody else plays second. DD gets the day off, and you get another right-handed hitter into the game. But with Torres on the disabled list, you know, that's not possible. You know, sometimes the numbers will get you into the lineup, and sometimes they will get you out of the lineup.
Right.
And although Didi's hit lefties pretty well, this is one particular guy who he hasn't had that type of success against. But it might be payback time right here. He's ahead on the count.
2 on, 1 out, 2 already in. 2-2.
If nothing else, the Yankees have kind of jacked up Hap's pitch count here in the first inning. 24 pitches to go along with a 2-0 lead.
Toronto's bullpen worked hard last night.
Yeah, they did. You know, even in winning the game, they used 5 pitchers out of the bullpen. The Yankees used just 2.
Right, thanks to the outing from Hale. Emilio lasted only 4 1/3 for Toronto. If you join late, you miss back-to-back homers. Gardner and Judge to begin this game. Then walks from Stanton and Hicks, a strikeout from Andujar. And Gregorius battling.
Can't you just see somebody just walk in the room? What happened?
Exactly.
Maybe yelling at somebody else. I told you we'd be late. You made us late.
That's down, and now the count full on Didi Gregorius.
And the runners get a running start with, oh, there's only 1 down now. I thought there were 2. It's been that long, huh?
It's been a long inning,
yeah,
Kenny.
It's only 1 out.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Hap wins the battle as Gregorius goes down on strikes. Let's take a look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 77 degrees, low humidity, 7-mile-an-hour breeze. The forecast is for sunny and warm. It's spectacular. Already action in the Blue Jays pen. As
Jake Petrichka.
Yeah, Petrichka's up.
Former White Sox.
That's driven down the right field line. A long run for Grichuk, and it's into the seats.
Well, Drury back in the big leagues, and I'm sure he's very happy about it. He had actually made the All-Star team down in the International League, but ask him where he would rather play, in the All-Star game there or in the big leagues here.
Right.
Hit .314 during his time at Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
And he just made a young fan very happy unintentionally with that foul ball. Sweeney. No relation to Sweeney Murdy. That's a line drive into center field, falling fast and in front of Pilar. It hops over his head. 1 run scores easily. Here comes Hicks. He too will score. And the Yankees lead is now 4-0 after the base hit from Brandon Drury.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they score that. Might be a single and an error on Pilar, who got too close to it. He thought he could catch it. You know, he's trying to get in there, make the play, and end the inning. And instead, he realizes at the end, I can't catch it. I'm too close and off the turf. That's what you get here at Rogers Center. And maybe a Tropicana field off the turf. It bounds over his head, and 2 runs are going to score. He cannot flag it down.
And it goes as a 2-run double for Brandon Drury.
That's the turf double then.
4 in the inning for the Yankees. Higashioka with 3 career big league hits, all for home runs. Back in the starting lineup today after Romine returned from injury last night.
You know, right now a single would do the job, though. A home run would be nice, but a single would do the job.
That's what he was joking with Meredith about the other day. I'm okay mixing in a single here or there. And in case you're wondering, has any big league hitter ever had his first 4 career hits go for home runs? 1.
I have no idea who did it.
Trevor Story.
Yeah, you know what? And that wasn't that long ago.
Not that long ago.
Yep. Like 7 of his first 10 hits were home runs.
Yeah.
Story, of course, with the Colorado Rockies. Their shortstop.
That's pounded in the air to left field. Granderson makes the catch. Oh, what a grab by Curtis Granderson to end the inning. But not before the Yankees put 4 on the board. It started with this. First pitch of the game, gone. Second batter of the game, gone. Back-to-back jacks to begin the action in Toronto.
When Granderson first came up, he was a center fielder with the Tigers, and showing off some of those center fielder skills with the range and left here for the Blue Jays, and diving under the warning track. Now he's leading off.
That's right. You know the deal. You make a great play to end the inning. You lead off. Curtis Granderson does. Gurriel Jr. bats second. Solarte, Smoke, and Morales in the heart of the order. Then Pilar, Grichuk, Maley, and Diaz finishes out the Toronto starting lineup.
And there is Luis Severino, who's having just a fantastic season. 13-2, 1.98 ERA. The rest of the numbers are outstanding. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. Those 13 wins, the top winner in baseball at this point in the season. And he's got a 3-run limit. 15 consecutive starts where he's given up 3 runs or less. That's the longest consecutive streak in the major leagues right now. And he needs just 10 strikeouts for 500 in his career. And I say just 10 because he's done that before this year.
And Severino working with a 4-0 lead. He'll strike 1 to Granderson. foul.
Yeah, Severino this year, well, he's 2-3 against the Blue Jays in his career, but both of those wins have come this year. So maybe turning things around against the Jays. He was the winner on opening day here at Rogers Center, March the 29th. That seems like a long time ago. And he beat the Jays at Yankee Stadium on April 22nd. And he has pitched well against Toronto, just like he has against everybody else. 1 run in 12 2/3 innings against the Blue Jays this year.
Luis Severino was given 4 runs in the first inning his last time out against Boston.
He won that game, didn't he?
Yes, he did. 6 2/3 shutout innings.
Yep. Nice ovation from the crowd at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees won 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox last weekend. Granderson making more a little bit here.
That last fastball was 99 miles an hour. The fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios by Verizon. Just misses off the outside corner. 3-2. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Popped up, foul behind the plate. Higashioka over near the dugout, and it's out of play.
It's on top of the dugout, back into the seats. Higashioka getting the start today. Austin Romine played last night.
Center field, Hicks back, gets under it to make the catch, and Severino wins the battle as we take a look at the defense behind him. Presented by Geico. In the outfield, Gardner, Hicks, and Judge, and Duhar at third, Gregorius at short, Drury at second, Greg Bird at first, and Higashioka catches Severino.
That's a shot from that shows the kind of bowl effect when the roof is open here. It looks like the Hollywood Bowl, you know, where you would concerts.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost like an opera hall, if you will.
Exactly. You know, the stage out there in center field.
Aaron Hicks, the opening act.
Actually, it was Brett Gardner.
Yeah. Very nice.
There's Gurriel, the younger brother of Yuri Gurriel of the Houston Astros. 2 young players from Cuba who defected a few years ago, and they're both now in the major leagues.
And Lourdes was up with the Blue Jays earlier this year, but ended up going down to AAA and had some success there offensively. Now back, and John Gibbons has said he's going to play regularly between short and second up here. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes. 2 out here in the bottom of the first.
Severino looked like a front door slider that puts him away. Yeah. Usually you see the slider down and away. This is one that Gurriel didn't recognize right away. Maybe thought it was going to be inside, but it darted back over the plate. And the first strikeout of the afternoon for Luis Severino.
Here's Jean-Hervis Solarte. Severino's last 4 starts, 4-0 with a 0.99 ERA. They're just oodles of good Severino numbers and nuggets that we'll be dispensing throughout the afternoon.
with all the modern metrics and analytics, they would just tell you he's having a fantastic year.
Right.
Any way you want to slice it.
He passes the eye test with flying colors.
Solarte had a 3-hit night last night. It was 16-2. The game started by Severino. This is kind of reminds you of Ron Guidry in '78.
Drury throws out Solarte and a 1-2-3 first inning for Severino. We go to the second. It's 4-0 Yankees. The official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. We've asked on Twitter, do you think the Yankees should target J-Happ as the trade deadline approaches? Why or why not? Cars Danny 24 said, I think an AL East battle-tested solid starter should be an automatic target. Asking price may be too high, but he should be on the top of the list of priorities. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. The Yankees got to Happ in the first inning with 4 runs. It began with back-to-back homers from Gardner and Judge.
You know, any conversation about any pitcher the Yankees might want to acquire is going to be an interesting conversation. The asking price is going to be high.
The Yankees still resplendent with prospects throughout their system, even though many of them have made their way to the major leagues.
You know, when we saw the Yankee lineup today, we saw Bird hitting ninth. Now I know it's a left-hander, but we've seen him as high as third against left-handers. So there's no spot lower in the batting order than ninth. Now maybe this is a subtle message from his manager. Let's get things going here.
Bird was 0 for 3 last night. A couple of deep flyouts and a walk. Also struck out. Popped up. Shallow left. Granderson in. 1 down. Some other potential trade targets. Cole Hamels. Michael Fulmer, the former Rookie of the Year, who's had a tough season in Detroit, and then DeGrom and Syndergaard if the Mets decided to entertain those options.
You see that 1.79 ERA under DeGrom's name?
Oh, yeah.
That would make him very expensive to get. He's got the lowest ERA in the National League, I believe.
The lower the ERA, the higher the price tag?
Yeah, that's what I think. He's pitching well.
Now, DeGrom leads the NL in ERA. Severino leads the AL in ERA. Only one time have the Yankees and Mets both had their respective leagues' ERA leaders.
Can I say Tom Seaver?
That's what you would guess,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Not so. The Yankees did not oblige when Seaver was on his game.
All right.
You have to go back to 1978.
So it's Guidry.
Right. It's Guidry for the Yankees and Craig Swan for the Mets.
Yeah, wow. I think if that was a trivia question, most people would get Guidry right away.
Right.
78 and Guidry, those are numbers that the number and the name that goes together. And
not your favorite.
He's a nice guy.
Gardner walks on 4 pitches.
Just couldn't hit him.
You weren't the only one.
Well, in particular that year.
Judge smoked a solo home run to right in the first inning. His 25th home run of the season.
Always talking about hitting with runners in scoring position. When Judge comes up, he's already in scoring position.
Judge 2 homers behind J.D. Martinez.
The only name on that list that kind of surprises me is Francisco Lindor. He is really adding power to his game. The rest of his game is outstanding.
Violent rip there from Judge. Yankees will see Lindor in the final 4 games before the All-Star break.
Gardner picked up his 8th steal of the year last night, and he's 1 away from taking over 4th spot all on his own. He's tied with Hal Chase.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, he's caught him.
And he is 2 stolen bases away from tying Willie Randolph for 3rd place on the Yankees all-time stolen base list. I don't know if we ever got confirmation if Willie was still watching last night.
Well, you know, we kind of waited late in the game to wish him a happy birthday.
It's true. Well, we'll say it early today. Hope you had a great birthday, Willie. Good take from Judge, and the count now full.
Happ thought he had picked off the outside corner with that, and you can see he's talking to himself. Didn't get the call from Lance Barrett.
Carlos Stanton on deck. There goes Gardner as Judge fouls it away.
They're trying to stay out of the double play with Gardner on the move. Judge is grounded into 8 double plays. That leads the Yankees.
.50 pitches already for J. Happ. There goes Gardner again as that's inside, ball 4. The Yankees have 2 on with 1 out here in the 2nd.
You can see Happ's trying to be very careful. That's his 4th walk, and that might go back to the first 2 batters of the game. Really going for the edges now, and falling behind on counts. Pitch count is going up, And it seems he's bringing up one dangerous hitter after another. Manager John Gibbons has his bullpen going.
There's a strike to Stanton, who has an American League high 10 home runs versus left-handed pitching this year. Petrichka back up and throwing. Up the middle, off of Happ, caroms towards second. Everybody's safe. It's an infield single for Stanton, and the base is now loaded for the Yankees.
If that ball doesn't hit Happ, it might actually have been a double play to get out of the inning, because it was hit hard enough. You can see where the second baseman Gurriel is stationed. Yeah, that ball would have been right to him near the bag at second base, and they had a chance to turn two. Instead, it caroms off Happ, and the bases are loaded, still with only one out. Yep, Happ couldn't get out of the way. And he knows, he looked behind him, he saw where Gurriel was, and that was a potential double play.
So here's Aaron Hicks, who walked and scored in the first. Takes strike one.
Hicks with a home run last night. 10 in his last 19 games.
Powers that down the left field line, foul. And it's 0-2 on Aaron Hicks. We showed you in his first at bat is leading the American League in slugging percentage since June 1st. Gardner, Judge, and Stanton. Plenty of speed and athleticism on the bases.
One thing about Hicks, he very rarely chases pitches out of the strike zone. He's one of the best in the league at that. Only 20% of his swings are on pitches out of the zone. That's 1 out of every 5. So he has a good idea of what his strike zone is, and that's from both sides of the plate.
4th best mark in the American League. Brett Gardner actually has the 5th best chase percentage, and Aaron Judge the 8th. There's that number Kenny's talking about in regard to Hicks.
See, the major league average is about 30%.
That's right. Hicks tips it to stay alive, and Mailey paid the price.
Yeah, he got he's down on his knees here. That was a direct hit. You can see and he's not in a good way right now. With all the concussion protocol that they go through, he's going to have to answer some questions, and you can see that his jaw is kind of shaken up. You know, it's he's gotten hit, but if you get hit again, you make things even worse. So they're going to be very careful with this. Okay, here come the questions. John Gibbons, of course, his manager, a former catcher. I mean, he can certainly relate. Fought for the Mets back in the 80s. Looks like he's going to hang. Let's take a look. Ooh, that was a direct hit. Wow. Here's another look in slow-mo, and it's not going to look any better.
So Maley stays in. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-2 on Hicks. Fly ball, foul ground, right side, and into the seats. So Hicks continues to battle, and Happ is about to throw his 60th pitch here in the second inning.
Well, like I said, the Yankees landed a couple haymakers with the first 2 hitters. Gardner and Judge, both hitting home runs. And it's kind of gone downhill from there. 4 walks.
Hicks chases, a rare chase for Hicks, and he's down on strikes.
Looked like a changeup. He was out in front. Yeah, you can see the spin out in front, and there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. As you said, a rare venture outside of the strike zone for Hicks.
Here's Miguel Andujar in his first career Grand Slam, last trip into Toronto. Looks at strike 1. Oh, 2.
Another one of those swings where Andujar gets his money's worth.
The 0-2. And Andujar chases way up in the zone for strike 3. So Happ works out of the bases loaded, 1 out jam. It's still 4-0 Yankees as we go to the bottom of the second.
Montefiore doing more. Masahiro Tanaka was out earlier today throwing a bullpen session, and who was catching it? Gary Sanchez, showing significant signs of progress coming back from that groin injury. He caught that bullpen session, also got in the cage, took BP. He feels much better. He'll have the day off tomorrow and then reevaluate with trainer Steve Donahue when they get back to Baltimore. Now, Masahiro Tanaka is still scheduled to go Tuesday in Baltimore. CC Sabathia will get the ball in game 1. Luis Cessa now will get the ball in game 2. You saw Jonathan Loaizaga suffering from some shoulder inflammation. He had an MRI, and he'll be evaluated by Yankees team physician Christopher Ahmad this week. But Ryan, not a good sign for somebody that has had arm issues in the past. And you see Tanaka earlier today about 12:30. Tanaka told me that rehab start, as you see Justin Smoke.
It's one to left center. Gardner will cut it off and hold Smoke at a single.
It's funny, Masahiro Tanaka told me the other day the rehab start was good. Everything felt good physically with the hamstrings, but some of the off-speed stuff felt a little bit off, a little bit rusty, so he was anxious to get in that bullpen session and work on a few things. But we know Masahiro Tanaka overall is a perfectionist, so what's not great for him, or what's not good for him, could be great for somebody else.
Right, Aaron Boone has said several times he's felt great about the reports of that rehab start from Tanaka. Now, in regard to Sanchez, Merritt, did he or Aaron Boone give any idea of when exactly he might return?
Well, Gary Sanchez said if it were up to him, he would be back before the All-Star break. Aaron Boone seemed to shut that down pretty quickly. There is going to be several steps he needs to go through prior to the Yankees activating him. He has not run the bases yet. They want to see him do it consistently, and Aaron Boone mentioned a couple rehab starts, so that will take some time. They're hoping after the All-Star break, but he may be spending his All-Star break in the minors, getting some reps, making sure that he's okay.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a reoccurrence of the same injury. You want to be 100% ready to go and ready to contribute to the team effort.
And also in that front, you see Austin Romine not in the lineup today, but he did come through yesterday, okay? Aaron Boone simply saying he was not going to catch him 3 games in a row here in Toronto, so it was either today or tomorrow that he would have off, so he'll likely be back in there tomorrow.
I want to thank you, Meredith. As Severino fans Morales, second strikeout of the game for Luis Severino.
Well, good slider down and in. Severino picks up the strikeout. Ryan, I told you last weekend I went to a wedding in Long Island.
Right.
Yeah, there's an interesting Severino story behind this wedding. My good friend Joe and Ida Ferraro had their son Joseph get married. And after the ceremony, you get in the reception line, and I get to Joe's grandmother, Miss Nina, right?
Yeah.
And I ask her how's she doing. Congratulations on her grandson getting married. First thing she says, what happened to the Yankees last night? They're all big Yankee fans, and I reassured her. I said, you know, that when you're playing the Red Sox, 2 out of 3 is good. And they were playing that Sunday night, right? Severino, of course, won the game.
That's driven in the air to left field. Gardner back, turning, looking, and it's gone. A 2-run homer for Kevin Pillar. And just like that, the Yankee lead has been cut in half.
So I reassured her that Severino would pitch well, and he did against the Red Sox. So, Miss Nina, your man's out there again today, and he's kind of picking up for Sonny Gray once again. But Pillar takes him deep. By the way, that's Pillar's first home run this year with a man on base. All 8 of his home runs have come here at the Rogers Center.
And Miss Nina's not going to be happy about that.
No, she's not. But the good news is it's still 4-2.
Pillar's second career home run off of Severino.
That was a hanging slider as we look out on Yesmo. You mentioned Severino doesn't give up many home runs.
Second in the league in home runs per 9. Only Trevor Bauer has a better mark.
You saw that last slider that for the strike. It's completely different than this one. This one hung. The last one that Grichuk just swung at was just about unhittable.
Rolled slowly down the third baseline foul.
Take a look at this slider to Pillar, and you could see it kind of ends up in the middle of the plate as Higashioka has to reach back towards the middle. That's never a good sign. When the catcher has to reach away from the corner. And Pilar was ready for it. It was a good wedding, by the way.
Yeah.
Really good.
Popped up. Bird down from first. Makes the catch. 2 out. You a big dancer at weddings?
I had to throw the shoes away. They were no good anymore.
Sign of a good time.
Yeah.
$25 of Severino's 33 pitches have been strikes. Here's Madeley, who was dinged up with that foul tip last inning. Takes high, ball 1.
.98 over the outside corner. A couple of starts ago, Severino was really on his game. At first pitch strikes, get the hitters on the defensive right away. The first 17 batters of the game.
There's a base hit to center field. Third hit of the inning for Toronto. One thing Aaron Boone has talked a lot about this year in regard to Luis Severino as his biggest area of evolution is his ability to self-correct quickly on the mound.
His location has been off a little bit this inning as opposed to the first.
In the air to right center, Judge over to make the catch and end the inning. But the Blue Jays put 2 on the board, courtesy of Kevin Pilar. It's a 4-2 game as we go to the third. Checking account customers, People's United Bank, member FDIC. And by GMC. Visit tristategmc.com for great lease offers. A gorgeous afternoon to cruise and to catch some baseball. In Toronto, the Yankees a 4-2 lead. Top of the third inning. It'll be Gregorius, Drury, and Higashioka at 6, 7, and 8. In the Yankees order on the NFL Experience scoreboard, you see that 4-2 lead. 0-2 on Didi. Petrichka still out there throwing a bit. Talking about Jay Happ as a potential trade target, and so Russell Martin was asked about him recently and said he is the most professional player he has ever seen. His preparation is so good that pressure just can't get to him. So Martin was saying that in the context of believing, yeah, he will easily handle any playoff situation he might be put into.
Yeah, those might be some of the traits you need to get into Northwestern University. That's where Happ went to school. Didi's kind of fought his way back in the cat here. It was 0-2, now it's 3-2.
Fourth full count for Yankee hitters so far this afternoon.
Yeah, Happ tried to expand the zone once he got ahead, and Didi wasn't biting. Now he forces him to throw a strike or somewhere near the strike zone.
And it wasn't. Ball 4, Gregorius on.
One of those days for Happ. That was his 5th walk, and he struck out 4.
And there's his line.
5 walks, that's a season high.
Drury hits that in the air to right. Back is Grichuk to make the catch for the first out. Here is Kyle Higashioka. Now you remember his last home run, Kenny, against Atlanta. Afterwards, in the dugout, you may have remembered seeing a very animated P.J. Piliteri, the assistant hitting coach for the Yankees, kind of firing up Higashioka, it looked like. Big swing there for a strike. Here it was. So after Higashioka's home run, you see P.J., he was fired up. Getting him going. And I was asking PJ about that today, and he said some of it was kind of a joke between us. They've worked together for several years in the minor leagues, but it was also a reinforcement that your game plan works. You can do this on this level. And it was some of that positive, fired up reinforcement and also having some fun. But they really want Higashioka to be hunting the fastball right now confidently, and they feel like he has been since he was called back up.
He's quick inside. I noticed that. He's looking to pull the ball. And he's got a count in his favor right now.
And last time up, he laced the ball to left field.
Yeah, he did.
Curtis Granderson made a fantastic diving catch, laying out on the warning track.
Only reason it didn't go out of the ballpark, he didn't hit it high enough.
That's cued foul.
He's another guy who doesn't get cheated.
Count now full on Higashioka. You know, PJ and Marcus Timms were actually players in camp in 2010 with Higashioka. Austin Romine as well. And PJ was one of the catchers working with them. Now he's coaching them. It shows you how long Higashioka's been working for these opportunities. He takes strike 3 on the inside corner. 2 down.
Lance Barron took his time making the call. 5 strikeouts and 5 walks for Happ this afternoon. Looked like a little cutter. Maley didn't really catch it as if it were a strike. Watch him bring it back up towards the zone. Yeah, that was a strike to begin with. That's enough. Somebody's gone.
Ooh. And
might be PJ.
Aaron Boone is going to walk out.
You got to be careful here.
Now, was it Boone who got tossed or someone else from the Yankee dugout?
I don't know, but that was a quick toss, because usually an umpire will say that's enough, give you sort of a warning, stay off of me, but somebody got thrown out right away.
It didn't seem to be a ton of latitude there.
Well, somebody's afternoon is over. That's enough. Somebody might have said something right after that.
Gave the warning and then the hook.
I'm warning you right now, CC. You're not going to yell at me the rest of the game. That's it. Get out of here.
CC.
So I guess it was CC who got ejected.
You know, I can hear CC now. He's saying, "Can I get that same pitch next time?"
Right.
Yeah.
Runner goes, and the base is stolen by Didi on ball 2 to Bird.
Got a great jump on Happ, who wasn't paying much attention to him. By the way, Didi leads the Yankees in stolen bases. This is his 10th of the year. Had only 3 all of last year. Of course, when Maley bobbled the ball, had no chance of getting him whatsoever. Ball off the webbing and into the dirt. Look, he comes up like he has it, but he really doesn't.
Well, now CC gets to watch the rest of the game from in the clubhouse.
I still think it was a quick toss.
Yeah. The warning and the hook were almost simultaneous. Bang, bang. The 2-2 is down, and the count now full on Greg Bird with Gregorius at second. 2 outs, and the Yankees holding a 4-2 lead. This is already the 6th full count the Yankees hitters have worked so far today. That is just off the outside corner, ball 4. So Bird walks, 6th walk issued by Happ, and that is going to be the final batter that he faces.
Even with a left-handed hitter coming up, John Gibbons has gone to the bullpen.
So Happ's day is done. Gardner coming up, Petrichka coming in, and Gibbons having some words. When he took Jay Happ out, he had some words walking out to the mound for Lance Barrett.
It has to do with his strike zone, and you're not allowed to critique balls and strikes.
So he took Happ out and then continued the conversation. And Lance Barrett had heard enough and tossed Gibbons.
Well, he just saw, his best pitcher this year walk 6 batters, and he's figured some of those pitches are strikes. And a season high 6 walks for Happ. Who's next? Meredith, you got anything to say?
What are you trying to throw me out here, Kenny? It is a beautiful day in Toronto.
So Gibbons gets ejected after Sabathia was ejected. Second time in CeCe's career that he's been ejected from the bench. Petrichka, who warmed up quite a few times in. Gardner lines that in the air, deep left center. No one will get to it. One hop off the wall. Didi scores easily. Here comes Bird behind him. He will score. And Brett Gardner is at third with a 2-run triple. It's 6-2 Yankees.
Have an afternoon, Brett Gardner. Leadoff home run on the first pitch of the game. And now a 2-run triple with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Fastball up, kind of tailing away, and he goes with it with authority. A gapper in left center, splits Granderson and Pilar. All they can do is play it off the wall. Of course, with the 2 outs, the runners are off with the crack of the bat, and Gardner's speed leads to a 3-base hit.
So Gardner has already homered and tripled in this game. He has also walked, as has Judge, who homered in the first following Gardner's leadoff homer. 0-2.
By the way, those runs are charged to Happ.
Well, you talked about it, Kenny. Even though his numbers overall in the season have been good, he's been struggling a bit of late.
Yeah, he gave up 7 runs against the Tigers last start.
So the line complete, 2 2/3, 6 runs, 6 walks for Jay Happ. His team trails 6-2. That's inside. Gets away from Maley, and Gardner will score. It's 7-2 Yankees.
That's going to be a wild pitch from Petrichka, who has a lot of movement on his fastball. And this one's going to break down and in. You know what? That might be a pass ball. I'll give that a pass ball. That did not hit the dirt. That should have been caught. Gardner scores easily.
No official scoring decision yet, as Judge swings and misses, and that will do it for the 3rd. But the Yankees score 3 2-out runs the final on a pass ball, and it's 7-2 Yankees. July 27th for one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's CC Sabathia Bobblehead Night, the third in the 2018 collectible series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here's Luis Severino with strike one. Oh, this bobblehead has been traveling all around Toronto. Today he was out with the fans. CC ejected from the bench, but the bobblehead's still in play. The NFL Experience scoreboard, 7-5-0 for the Yankees, 2-3-0 for the Blue Jays. You know, CC very much wants to have the bobblehead next year on Star Wars night, though, with him as Yoda. Oh. This is a big goal of his. This year they did Judge as a Jedi.
Well, he's going to have to put his bid in early.
Yeah, I think he is. I believe he's already reached out to Craig Cartmel of the Yankees, try and make that play. That's off Granderson's foot, foul. Granderson has had two pesky at-bats.
Yeah, he's kind of reminiscent of the leadoff at-bats that Brett Gardner can have. Fouling pitches off, making pitchers work. Just being a, what'd you say, pesky?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, yeah. Sliders down and in, fastballs up. It's turned into ball day when Granderson comes to the plate.
Well, you saw 9 pitches his first at bat, and this will be the 11th pitch of this at bat. He's accounted for more than 40% of Severino's pitch count. And now he's worked a leadoff walk. Here's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Remember, the Yankee bullpen still in good shape today thanks to the work from David Hale last night. And Hale, as is the nature of the business, was rewarded for his good work with a trip back down to AAA as the Yankees called up Clint Frazier for today's game. And Hale was actually DFA'd, so he's got to clear waivers to remain a Yankee.
I'm looking at Gurriel at the plate here. He looks like a slightly smaller version of his brother. A little bigger, a little stronger, maybe a little bit more power. Both of them from a heralded baseball family in Cuba.
Father was an outstanding pro.
The manager of the national team, and uncle's involved in baseball. Now both of them in the major leagues.
And Gurriel down on 3 pitches.
He's had some problems with the slider today. Aggressive nature, and Severino takes advantage of it. Makes it look like a strike, but it's really not. And Gurriel chases.
Jean-Hervis Solarte. Just to button that up on Gurriel's father, in addition to being the team manager, played for the national team for 15 years and won a gold medal, 2 batting titles, and an MVP in Cuba.
Doesn't it seem like it should be more than just the bottom of the third?
Yes.
We've had a lot of walks, a lot of base runners in this game.
A lot of runs, a lot of pitches.
Uh-huh.
And with Severino versus Happ, not what we expected.
There's, you know, all this pace of play sort of thing. Every game is different. You know, they're just, some of them just speed along, and some of them are just crawl along at a snail's pace.
You can tell Severino not as sharp as we usually see him.
Yeah. He's got a 5-run lead to work with.
Yep. Popped up behind the plate, foul. And into the seats. And the count now full on the former Yankee Solarte.
Yeah, he was traded to San Diego in the Chase Headley deal a few years back.
If you remember, Carlos Beltran spoke very highly of Solarte and really liked what he saw from him as a young hitter. Solarte's done a nice job here in Toronto. That is just off the outside corner. Ball 4, second walk of the inning for Severino.
And he kind of thought that was a strike. Yep, it's off the corner. Now, there have been 8 walks in this game in 3 innings. So you can see why John Gibbons wasn't happy with Lance Barrett. And that's off the plate.
Here's Justin Smoke. Singled and scored in his first bat. Big rip there, 0-1. Smoke entered this game hitting .324 against the Yankees thus far this season, with an OPS just under 1,100. That was in 10 games of action.
Yeah, he's one of the last guys on their team. The way he's been going against the Yankees, you don't want him up there with men on base, as is the case right now.
That's on the outside corner with the changeup, 0-2.
Yeah, that was a good one. Maybe up a little bit, but the lack of speed, Smoke was forced to take it.
There are those numbers against the Yankees this season. Severino looks back, Granderson. The 0-2. High and away, and it's 1-2.
Came back with another changeup.
Strike three got him looking for the second out of the inning. Now time for Lowe's whole team together. The Yankees certainly know how to fan batters. They are second in the major leagues in strikeouts per 9. Only the Astros strike out batters at a higher clip. And the Yankees, of course, towards the top of the leaderboard, thanks in large part to that man on the mound.
And a very solid bullpen as well.
Well, Yankees bullpen is on pace to set a major league record for strikeouts per 9. A record they set last year. On pace to shatter.
See the numbers on Kendrys Morales. Over his career, he's been a better hitter than that. But lately, he's starting to heat up. So there's some hitters on this Blue Jays team. We mentioned last night their overall team numbers aren't very good, but maybe they will be in the second half mode, second half hitting.
Severino indicates something to Higashioka there, as he's ahead of Morales 0-2. Two on, two out. Here's the 0-2. Morales held up, 1-2. Nice stop there from Higashioka.
Morales, another player from Cuba.
The 1-2. Turned up foul, and it's still 1-2. Morales won a World Series with Kansas City 2015. You mentioned him being from Cuba. He was on the national team at 19 years old, was the first teenager since the 80s to do so. It's a solid beard.
Yeah, it is. That's one of those ones you put a red suit on him.
He qualifies. Yeah. Straight out of Central Casting.
Huh? This is a discussion. How are we going to put this guy away? Get out of this inning.
Severino's had to grind a bit so far this afternoon. Pitch count up to 68 with 2 outs here in the third.
Some encouragement from Higashioka behind home plate, pounding his glove.
Pop foul off of third, and Duhar over, and into the seats it goes.
You know, one reason the pitch count has gone up because there's been so many foul balls today, and just that the Blue Jay hitters are hanging tough. Severino with 4 strikeouts, but he needs 6 more for 500.
That's right.
Okay.
Side, and it's now full on Morales with Pilar, who homered his first at bat, on deck. 3-2, 2 outs, so the runners will be going. Granderson from second, and Solarte from first. Big rip from Morales to foul it off. got smashed foul. Severino trying to come up with something to put Morales away.
Taking a deep breath. Morales has just spoiled everything he's thrown up there.
This will be the 11th pitch of the at-bat coming. We saw Granderson start the inning with an 11-pitch walk. Strike three. Severino blew it by him at 99 miles an hour, and he escapes the jam. Fifth strikeout of the afternoon for Severino. Every moment this season, get Yankees home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Well, that guy brought his glove to the right game, because if you're a fan of foul balls, you have come to the right place. On the Audi scoreboard, it's 7-2 Yankees, and there were 165 pitches thrown through the first 3 innings of this game. That's a lot of pitches through 3 innings.
Severino just threw a no-contact inning, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts.
Stan has walked and singled, grounds that to third. So Larte, 1 down. Now, we've talked a lot about Aaron Hicks and the outstanding numbers and how hot he has been of late. And I was talking to him earlier, and I said, if I would have told you 2 years ago you're going to be hitting third in the Yankees order, as he was yesterday, between hitters like Judge and Stanton, would you have believed that? And he said, absolutely not. I said, okay, so then what is the chief reason for this evolution? And he said, my work with Marcus Timms. Marcus Timms is the #1 reason why. He said, when I came here, I could hit a heater, and I had my plate discipline. But I couldn't hit off speed, and I didn't know how to game plan at bats. And Marcus is the one who taught me all of that. He said, now, instead of trying to protect weaknesses when I'm up, I only ever think about that with 2 strikes. Otherwise, I'm just thinking about playing to my strengths.
Sounds like a confidence thing, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you got to go up there believing you're going to get a hit. But also, you go up there to hit, but you got to be willing to take a walk, and he's willing to take a walk.
And that part of his game has always been there. And another full count for Aaron Hicks. There is Marcus Timms. And Meredith has a little more on this as far as Hicks's development goes.
Along the same lines, he was talking about his work with Marcus Timms, and he said he actually went to Timms and said, I think I can hit for power more. I need to get the ball in the air more. And when they started trying to find ways for him and his approach to get the ball in the air more, that made him even more selective at the plate of not swinging outside of the zone, expanding the zone. And also, he's been able to hit for power a little bit more. 16 home runs on the season, a new career high. And one thing he's proud of, it's not just from one side or the other. It's pretty evenly split when it comes to batting left-handed and right-handed.
9 and 7, lefty righty respectively. And to your point, Meredith, the ground ball percentage is way down this year for Aaron Hicks. And Duar smashes it, one hop to third, could be two, no. The exchange dropped. Out at second is Hicks. Safe at first is Andujar. I mean, Kenny, you're a switch hitter.
Yeah, no, not anymore.
Well,
first of all, take a look at this rocket off the bat at Andujar. Good play by Solarte. Gurriel in the exchange, trying to be quick, drops the ball. Hicks is forced at second. And this would have been a double play at the end of the inning. The ball was hit that hard. But it's going to continue. Okay.
How hard is it to have both swings going at the same time, lefty and righty?
Well, you can do it. I mean, but you just have to make sure every day you take some swings from the other side of the plate where you're not going to start. If you are facing a right-hander, you got to make sure you take some swings during the course of batting practice, right-handed. And the thing about it, you can go. There's so many more right-handed pitchers. You can go 3, 4, maybe 5 days without seeing a lefty. But I think that is even more rare now than even when I was playing. And the reason being is because so many pitchers are now used in the game, as opposed to starters going deeper into the games when I played. So you could go 3, 4, maybe 5 days without seeing a lefty. Now you're probably going to see a lefty out of the bullpen as the game moves along.
Kenny, how often would you find that you felt great on one side of the plate, but almost like you were slumping on the other side?
I wouldn't admit to it when I was playing, but I used to feel better left-handed more often than right-handed because, like I said, you could go a few days without hitting right-handed. And sometimes during the course of the game, I was hoping they wouldn't bring a lefty in. I was fighting my way to get a walk, just. But when it was going well, if I was going well right-handed for the majority of the year, I was really going to have a good year.
That was sort of your barometer side.
Yeah. Just.
Gregorius gets robbed at second. Gurriel Jr. makes the play and throws him out. Last night it was Devin Travis. Today it's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. So nice defense in the inning from the Jays as the Yankees are held off the board. It's 7-2 into the bottom of the fourth. coverage begins at noon with Audi batting practice today and the Chevy Yankees pregame right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Bottom of the fourth inning, Luis Severino back to work and deals strike one to Kevin Pillar. 7-2, Yankees lead it. Pillar is accounted for the 2 Blue Jays runs with a 2-run shot in the second. That's softly to second base. Drury throws him out. 1 down. On the Audi scoreboard, 7-5-0 for the Yankees, 2-3-0 for the Blue Jays.
Get back to what you were asking me about left-handed and right-handed. I'm kind of screwed up. I do some things left-handed, I do other things right-handed. And when I was a kid, I started out hitting lefty. But I saw all the other youngsters, I'm talking about 5, 6 years old, hitting right-handed, so I started hitting right-handed. And I hit right-handed only in Little League. But I kept practicing left-handed, doing stickball games and all that sort of thing. So one day, one of my coaches, I was about 15, said, "Why don't you hit left-handed in the game today? We're facing a right-handed pitcher." And I hit 2 home runs. So after the game, he said, "Now you're a switch hitter." And I did it ever since then.
What a terrific story. So it was only when you were 15, you weren't doing it your whole childhood. That is driven in the air deep to left field and long gone. Into the second deck for Randall Grichuk, and it's a 7-3 game.
Grichuk got off to a slow start this year, but he's been heating up lately. Good defensive outfielder, but now his bat is catching up to his glove here in Toronto. See where this is, his slider's just spinning. Yeah, it wasn't much break to it. And it was up about bell time, maybe a little higher. That was like room service. Oh, here's a good look at it. Down the line. Hooking, but it stays fair.
First time this season that Severino has allowed 2 home runs in 1 game.
Yeah, I was having that feeling.
Checking out the numbers on StatCast. 106 miles per hour off the bat. 401 feet later.
This might be one of those days where Severino gonna have to win without his best stuff. Just piece it together, get far enough into the game where the bullpen can close it down from that point on.
You had it in your scouting, Kenny. He has given up 3 runs or fewer in each of his last 15 starts.
And that's the longest streak in the major leagues currently. So what did I say? 3's the limit? For him, he's reached the limit. Let's see if he can hold it here.
There have been some tough at bats.
Yeah, I think that shows you that he doesn't have his best stuff, because usually when he gets 2 strikes on people, he puts them away. There's no fuss, no muss. But the Blue Jays are hanging tough.
Fly ball, right field. Judge. 2 out. Severino had 86 pitches. With 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Make that the bottom of the 4th.
How about the news that the Yankees signed his younger brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Raphael, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And we heard Meredith tell us on the pregame that day that Severino said he thinks Raphael's better at his age than Luis was.
Well, he starts to fill out a little more.
They look like brothers.
Yeah, well, you see the Raphael's got some filling out to do. He's not nearly as strong as Luis, and when he gets stronger, he'll throw harder.
That's what happened with Severino. He wasn't throwing nearly this hard when he was signed. That's driven in the air to right center field and deep. Hicks over, so is Judge. Hicks makes the catch for the final out of the fourth. But the Blue Jays add a run. It's 7-3 as we head to the fifth. Now the GMC scoreboard, the tally is Yankees 7, Blue Jays 3. Top of the fifth inning. Here's Brandon Drury. Take strike one. The Astros 28 games over 500. And they have a major league best run differential of plus 181.
See that movement on the fastball by Petrichka. Just running away from the lefties and in on the righties. Just when you think you have it squared up as a hitter, the ball moves and you top it, or you don't hit it on the sweet spot. You know, I was trying to think of brothers on the same pitching staff, and I think the best example is that Santos is warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Is the Dean brothers, Dizzy Dean and his brother Paul, who was better known as Daffy, Dizzy and Daffy. And they pitched in a doubleheader once for the Cardinals. And in the first game, Dizzy threw a 3-hit shutout, I believe it was, and his brother in the second game threw a no-hitter. And Dizzy's quote after his brother threw the no-hitter was, "If I knew he was going to throw a no-hitter, I would have thrown one too."
Fly ball, left field. Granderson under it for the first out. Now, speaking of Dizzy Dean, on this day,
1937 at Griffith Stadium, Washington. Babe Ruth is now retired. President Roosevelt throws out the first ball. Starting pitchers are Lefty Gomez and Dizzy Dean.
Wow.
In the third inning, Joe DiMaggio singles off Dizzy Dean. Next up, Lou Gehrig then slams Dean's fastball out of the park to give the American League a 2-0 lead.
July 7, 1937. Significant because it was in D.C. This year, the All-Star Game, of course, is in D.C.
Yeah, what goes around comes around, you know.
You didn't know you were bringing up all these Dizzy Dean ties.
No, I do know that I believe it was in, I don't know if it was that All-Star game or another one, that Dizzy Dean got hit by a line drive in the foot, and it broke his toe, and he came back too soon and altered his delivery and hurt his arm. I do know that.
It's the last place you want to get hurt. At the All-Star game.
Yeah. Don't look now, Ryan. It's another full count.
Yankees hitters have loaded up on them today. Popped up. Behind second. The catch is made by Gurriel Jr. for the second out. In case you're just joining us, Yankees got on the board as early as you can. First pitch of the game. Brett Gardner slammed a solo home run to right, and then Aaron Judge followed that with an opposite field home run. So the Yankees were up 2-0 after 2 batters. They scored 2 more runs in the first, 3 in the third. Luis Severino has surrendered a 2-run shot to Pilar and a solo shot to Grichuk, and that's the scoring for the Blue Jays.
Our research personnel in the truck. It was that game that Dizzy Dean got hit with the line drive in the foot.
In 1937. How good are they?
Yeah.
It was Earl Averill who hit that line drive that broke the toe of Dizzy Dean. Bird down on strikes, and a 1-2-3 inning for Toronto. Yankees lead 7-3, middle of the fifth.
Clint Frazier now in left field. Brett Gardner moves to center. Frazier, who was just called up today.
And the play is made by Gregorius for the first out.
I will tell you this about Didi. Was look at the GMC scoreboard. Yankees leading 7-3 in the bottom of the third. I don't know if there's a more acrobatic shortstop or athletic shortstop in the league. He makes plays from all angles. We've seen him make plays from his knees, in the hole, strong throwing arm. I just I don't want him to take it for granted at shortstop because he makes literally all the plays, the tough ones and the easy ones.
Outstanding defender. Meanwhile, one of the other outstanding defenders the Yankees have up the middle is Aaron Hicks. So we wait to see why he is out of this game with Frazier now in left and Gardner in center. That's punched through the right side, a base hit. For Gurriel Jr., which struck out his first 2 at-bats. With how hot Hicks has been, though, Kenny, certainly hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Could be 2 to second for 1, and that is an easy 1-6-3 double play on a nice snag from Luis Severino. And he may have bought himself another inning of work with how quickly he got out of this 5th. The double play ends the frame, 97 pitches through 5 for 7.
Photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Top of the 6th inning in Toronto. And the Yankees a 7-3 lead over the Blue Jays. Ryan Rucco, Ken Singleton, Meredith Marakovitz with you, our entire Yes Network crew. Appreciate you hanging out with us on this Saturday afternoon, turned early evening. Here's Brett Gardner. Gardner got the 2 hardest parts of the cycle out of the way in the first 3 innings. A solo home run on the first pitch of the game, walked in the second, and then a 2-run triple in the third. New pitcher for Toronto, Luis Santos. Limited work at the big league level this season.
He got called up in May. He too has some movement on his pitches. It's not just straight power.
Two and two on Gardner.
Came up with May, was DFA'd and sent outright to the AAA club, and then came back.
Looped into shallow center behind second. Gurriel Jr. makes the play. Now coming off last half inning, Luis Severino, quick convo from Aaron Boone. And you could see Severino look like he was trying to say, let me get one more, and like Aaron Boone was saying, nope, that's it. Jonathan Holder up in the Yankee pen.
I think it's a product of he kind of labored today, and why push it one more inning? You know, 96 pitches. You know, sometimes they tell you it's not the pitch count, but how you actually get through the hitters. And today was a little bit more of a struggle for Severino, although he leaves with a 4-run lead.
Aaron Judge kid is back here in Toronto.
Well, he didn't have to wait as long this time. He did.
The young man's name is Nino.
He didn't have to wait. He had to wait 13 innings for Judge to hit a home run in June. And today in the first inning, Judge went deep.
Nino Quinn is his name. You're right, though, Kenny. Last time he was rewarded for his patience and persistence in inning 13. This time, right off the bat. That was such a fun moment.
Oh, it was.
Count full on Aaron Judge. Second walk of the game for Aaron Judge to go with his homer. So here's a look back to that moment. On June 6th in BP that day, Aaron Judge hits the home run. And Nino grabs the ball and then realizes it was Judge who hit it. That was Judge. That was Judge. Could not be more excited. Held up this sign every time Judge came up. And in the 13th inning, way later that night, celebrated emphatically with a child's joy as Judge went yard to lead the Yankees to an extra inning win. And Meredith has a little more on Nino Quinn.
Well, Ryan, social media is a beautiful thing. I actually spoke to his father, Mike, who told me he was so excited about the evening as a whole. He could not stop talking about it on the way home. And then when they got home, they had a ton of text messages. They realized they had been on TV throughout the broadcast. That made him even more excited. Then he couldn't get to sleep, and he said he was never going to get rid of that sign. So the sign stayed in his room, and they were looking forward to this opportunity to see Aaron Judge and the Yankees one more time.
Yeah, you got to keep the sign after that.
You know what Aaron's thinking? Every time this kid comes to the game, I hit a home run. So.
Well, Kenny, that's just it. I asked Aaron Judge if he had seen any of that, and I actually showed him the kid, showed him the sign, and he said, if that's the end result, I want him to come to every game, and he better not get rid of that sign, but went on to say that's what it's all about. You love to see young fans really embracing the game and having a good time.
That was one of the cool parts in the aftermath of that moment, was seeing Aaron's reaction via you, Meredith, and then some of his teammates and how they reacted to that moment and how into it they all were, just thinking it was so cool seeing the genuine joy of young Nino. Swing and a miss, Stanton down on strikes. And so here's the spot that would have been Hicks, but instead will be Clint Frazier. Frazier recalled today after David Hale was DFA'd. He's had success in his limited action at the big league level this season, and he has really mashed at AAA.
He's been hot lately, man. He had a 2-home run game for Grant Wilkes-Barre just the other day.
And Aaron Boone has been so pleased and proud of Frazier, how every single time he's gone down, he has continued to perform, hasn't sulked, keeps working his way back up. As Boone emphasizes, every time that Frazier's brought up, he says, we believe he is a big part of our future here.
I also believe he got robbed of a home run at Tampa Bay when he hit the speaker in left field. That would have been a game-winning homer. Or, well, potential game-winning homer.
Would have given them the lead in extras. That's smash foul. The commotion you hear is for the wave. Good looking swing from Frazier, still 0-2.
Quick bat. You know, you don't see the wave very often. For some reason, I thought it had passed us all by. I mean like forever.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
On the outside corner, strike 3. Santos dots it and fans Frazier to end the 6th. Yankees nursing a 7-3 lead with Sevy's day done.
let you go. Holy cow, he broke it up with 2 outs. I don't believe it. Unbelievable.
That is the Coors Light refreshing finish. Dave Stieb on August 4th, 1989 against the Yankees, an out away from a perfect game, and you heard Scooter on the call, Phil Rizzuto, as Roberto Kelly's double broke it up. And how about this? Stieb lost a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th. Back-to-back starts in 1988. Then loses the perfect game in 1989 before finally getting his no-hitter on September 2nd of 1990 at Cleveland.
Yeah, beating the Indians. I faced Steve. He was tough.
That's in the air to deep center. Gardner racing back. Can't get to it. It's off the wall. Smoke hustling into second. Judge's BB nearly got there in time, and it's a leadoff double for Smoke off of Holder.
Yeah, a good try by Gardner. I believe if Gardner had been a right-handed thrower, he could have reached out and caught. He had to reach across his body to try to make this catch. And the ball just eludes his glove as he crashes into the wall. And Judge gets it back in, but Smoke has his second hit of the afternoon. Yet another extra base hit for him.
He continues to do damage against the Yankees. Gardner is in center, and Frazier in left after Hicks left this game.
Did we mention that Holder's now pitching?
Well, you just did.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Jonathan Holder in relief of Luis Severino. By the way, that no-hitter that Steve threw in 1990 is the only one in Blue Jays history.
Well, if anybody was going to come close, it would be him. He had one of the best sliders in the league. Very good fastball with a lot of movement on it. And it was just a tough competitor on the mound. His demeanor didn't change. Just had that look like he meant business out there. Here's a changeup from Holder. I was talking to him before the game about that changeup, and I think since he's come back from the minors, he's used it more, and he agreed. He said, I always had it, but he was reluctant to use it. You know, he has other stuff. He's got a good slider. He's got a curve, fastball, near mid-90s.
That's lined over Drury into right. Station to station for Smoke. And there are now runners on the corners with nobody out here in the 6th.
That one kind of hung a little bit. Stayed up there for Morales to get to, and he picks up his first hit of the afternoon. That guy's slider. Yep, right there. He went down and get it about knee high.
To your point about Holder's success, he's pitched to a 0.28 ERA since being recalled on April 21st. Giving up 1 earned run in 31 2/3 innings. Some trouble here as he gets strike 1 on Pilar. Fly ball. Shallow center. Gardner makes the catch. Smoke tags the throw. Offline. Staying at first is Morales. It's a sacrifice fly for Kevin Pilar. And it's now a 7-4 Yankee lead.
Justin Smoke scores his second run of the afternoon. Drury checking with the dugout to see where he should be playing, and they're going to move him back over to the right side of second base. He was over on the left side as if the shift was on, but now they've moved him back over. And as Meredith pointed out, this is the first time he's playing second base for the Yankees this year. He hasn't played it in the big leagues before with Arizona.
That's right. Started there 109 times last year. This is his 122nd career start at second base. I talked to him about it before the game, and he said he's gotten enough reps there where he feels comfortable immediately. He said third is definitely his most natural position, but feels full comfort at second base.
Well, the Diamondbacks had Jake Lamb at third, so he was going to play third base, Jake Lamb.
Richie held up. The 1-2. Nice stop by Higashioka as Grichuk again was able to hold up. 2-2.
Well, we talked about the Yankees maybe advantage coming into this game because their bullpen had been somewhat rested after last night, only using two pitchers out of the bullpen. So the full complement should be ready if called upon by manager Aaron Boone.
Plus, that was on the heels of an off day as well.
Yeah, that's true.
In the air to left. Frazier over. 2 out. Here's Luke Maley. 1 for 2 is singled and flown out to right. Drury picks the hop and throws out Maley to end the 6th. So the Blue Jays score a run, but no more. It's 7-4 Yankees as we go to the 7th. sensation Mbappe lead France against Lukaku and Belgium. Coverage begins Tuesday at 1 p.m. on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. It'll be England and Croatia in the other semifinal, as those two teams won earlier today. On the Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees 7 and the Blue Jays 4. All the Yankees players and staffers, they have teams in their World Cup pool. So there's been a lot of trash talking going on in the clubhouse in that regard. I believe Director of Media Relations Jason Zillow has Croatia, so he'll be very happy. Because Brett Gardner had Russia, so they were going up against each other today. Everyone was joking, you don't want Gardy's team winning because you will never hear the end of it. They don't have to worry about that now.
Well, the Yankees are officially into the tack-on portion of the game, where you just tack on a few runs and kind of put it away. They haven't scored a run since the third inning, so it'd be nice to get the offense back in gear.
So Aaron loop up in the Blue Jays pen.
We saw him last night.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. And Duhar lines that into center field. Pilar coming in, makes the catch for the first down.
And Duhar working on a 4-game hitting streak. 0 for 4 so far this afternoon.
Didi 0 for 2, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored.
He's hitting some bad luck in this series. He got robbed of a hit last night, got robbed of one this afternoon.
And he robbed of one there. Outstanding pickup by Smoke. And once again, Gregorius with no fruit at the end of that labor. Wow.
In the sun. And you see how Smoke approaches the ball, keeps the glove low, because it's easier to bring the glove up on a bad hop as opposed to starting high and going back down to get it. And he looked very smooth on that play. One of the better fielding first basemen in the league.
So right on cue, Gregorius robbed again. Drury, a 2-run double in the first. It was a sinking, looping liner to center, and Kevin Pilar charged it hard, thinking he might have a play on it, and then it hopped over his head, which allowed a second run to score. Fly ball down the right field line, foul ground, Grichuk over. It's in the seats. 2-1. We get the official announcement on Aaron Hicks. Cramping in his left leg. That would probably warrant an exhale from Yankees fans, seeing him leave the game, and as long as it is just cramping.
Yeah, just see if he's all right to start tomorrow.
10th full count of the game for Yankee hitters. Drury grounds it towards the middle, gobbled up by Diaz, and a 1-2-3 inning for Santos. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 7-4 Yanks. On dealer, the Yankees scoring 4 in the first, started by back-to-back homers to begin the game from Gardner and Judge. Luis Severino, as John and Bob talked about, the labor through his 5 innings, but left with the lead as the Yankees got to Jay Happ, chased him in the 3rd, and now turn to David Robertson in the 7th, sporting a 3-run cushion. The numbers always solid from David Robertson. 47 strikeouts and 38 in the 3rd innings, just 27 hits. Diaz, first pitch swinging into shallow center, everyone converging, and Gardner gets to it for the out.
Yeah, Gardner takes charge in center field, as a center fielder should do. Ball looked like it was going to be right in that Bermuda Triangles. Cadillac scoreboard 7-4. The Yankees have the lead.
And in case you're just joining us and missed the news at the end of the top of the 7th, the reason Brett Gardner's in center is Aaron Hicks left this game with a little cramping in his leg.
I wonder if it's a byproduct of being on the turf for a couple of days.
Two 2-0 on Granderson. Would you feel a significant difference, Kenny, in your legs playing on turf?
Turf was more prevalent back in the day.
Right.
You know, they've done a good job of getting rid of it just about everywhere.
Another one into shallow center. A long run for Gardner. He won't get to it. It drops and nobody's covering second. Not sure there would have been a play anyway because Granderson was hustling. But it's a bloop double for Curtis Granderson.
It looked like Gardner took a false step backwards, thinking that ball was hit better than it actually was. I don't know if he saw it off the bat. Watch him in center. Goes back, and now he has to try and recover. And even with his great speed, he can't do so. 4 Yankees are going to converge on this, and the ball's still going to hit the turf. And there's the pitcher's reaction.
And you heard Robertson mouth, "It's all right."
So you're talking about turf?
Yeah, if you feel it in your legs when you're playing on a consecutive days.
No, you know, not really, because it was, as I said, more prevalent. You were used to it. But the thing you didn't get used to was when that turf got baking in the summertime. I'm thinking about St. Louis, sometimes Philadelphia. It would actually, you could feel it through your spikes.
Like the heat rising off
it was just hot as all get out. And then sometimes when there's pitching changes, you'd walk onto the warning track because it wasn't quite as hot. Yeah.
That's when you were begging your pitchers for quick innings.
And believe me, they've made improvements over the years in the turf. It's not grass, but it's more like it.
Field turf.
Yeah.
Not AstroTurf.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it was really cold. I remember football players used to say it was Astro Rock. And they had to deal with it in a harder sense than we did. I mean, being tackled on that stuff, I'm sure, was no fun.
High fly ball. Routine left. 2 out. I'll bring up Jan Hervis Solarte. Solarte grounded into a double play, 1-6-3 his last time up.
Good play by Severino. That was the last 2 outs he got in the game in the 5th inning. And we talk about Severino's pitching. He's actually a very good fielder as well.
As much as we talk about the possibility of a Cy Young and other awards, he's got a real chance at a Gold Glove.
There's no doubt in my mind. Very fundamentally sound in fielding his position.
It's the call off the outside corner, 1-1. John Gibbons ejected from this game earlier. So was CC Sabathia from the Yankees bench. Both arguing with home plate umpire Lance Barrett.
Yeah, both of them kind of got quick hooks. And, you know, when Gibbons got thrown out, he actually held his 2 fingers apart. Like, was it this far? Was it, you know, this sort of thing? A lot of walks in the game, early in the game. And a lot of those pitches were close. And like I said, umpires don't like being shown up.
The 1-2. Barely nicked foul. Stays 1-2.
And Roberts has got a few great. He's got a cutter. He also has that good curve, which is somewhere in between a curve and a slider. Very sharp.
The 1-2. Down low, 2-2. In the air to left. Frazier nearly in his tracks, puts it away to end the inning. So David Robertson picks up the D after that bloop double. We go to the 8th, 7-4 Yankees. Behind-the-scenes look at the Yankees AAA farm team. On this episode, hit the links with the Rail Riders and their annual charity golf tournament. Catch Homegrown Tuesday at 11 p.m. right here on ES. Show is such an outstanding look at the Yankees' talent in the minor leagues and their personalities as that ball is lined to left field, and there you have it. A hit from Kyle Higashioka that is not a home run.
Give him the ball.
Speaking of homegrown, there is one of the players who's been documented, and you see Gleyber Torres having some fun with Higashioka. And that's going to do it for Santos.
That is DeMarlo Hale, the bench coach, who's taken over the managing after John Gibbons has been ejected.
So he's the one who calls on the lefty Aaron Loup to face the lefty Greg Bird in the top of the 8th inning with the Yankees leading 7-4. City hosts the Montreal Impact at Yankee Stadium. Coverage presented by Etihad Airways begins at 7 o'clock on Yes 2 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. For a list of Yes 2 channel locations, go to yesnetwork.com. New pitcher for Toronto is the lefty, Aaron Loup. Faced 2 hitters last night, including a 13-pitch walk by Neil Walker. That's a broken bat number over the mound. Going to be a tough play, and it's an infield single for Greg Bird.
He's smiling because that might be the softest hit he's ever gotten. Broken bat over the pitcher's head because of the shift. Only one defender on that side, and he's playing deep. That's Diaz, and he's going to try and play it on the hop, but there's a turf hop. It's maybe a 65-foot bloop single. Off the hands, that bat is destroyed. Hustled down the line, and hey, wait a minute, I can stay here?
Right, he didn't realize it. Now here's Gardner, who has homered and tripled. He's driven in 3. He lays down a bunt right in front of the plate. The out at third is made as Solarte just got his foot on the bag. So Gardner unable to execute the sacrifice.
Yeah, the ball didn't roll far enough, and a good play by Maley coming out from behind home plate. Gets rid of the mask, gives him clear vision, picks it up, throws on the run more like an infielder would. And you can see it's in plenty of time to get Higashioka at third base. And that's going to be it for Loup.
So DeMarlo Hale will turn to a righty to face Judge and Stanton. Day is done for Aaron Loup. Yankees threatening to tack on. First and second, 1 out. 7-4 lead. Laced line drives, but why not get the measurements of that Greg Bird blast moments ago?
What do you got there?
42 miles an hour off the bat. It traveled a distance of 83 feet. And it's a base hit for Greg Bird.
It looks like a line drive in the paper tomorrow or online.
It can be whatever he wants it to be there. Bird on second. And Gardner on first. As Judge takes strike 1 from Cruz, the new pitcher. Ryder Cruz in his second game this season with Toronto. It's 0-2 on Aaron Judge.
Man, this guy's been with several organizations: Detroit, the Mets, Houston, the Braves, and now Toronto.
Judge homered his first at bat, part of back-to-back home runs from Gardner and Judge to lead off this game. He has walked twice. conference now. As you see, Warren has joined Betances in the pen, and presumably if the score stayed as is, it would be Betances, and if the Yankees add on 1 or 2 runs, then maybe you'd see Warren.
Cruz jumped ahead, and now he didn't come anywhere near close enough to get Judge to bite on these last 2, and the count is now evened up. So the pendulum is swinging back towards Judge a little bit.
It's always a dangerous proposition for pitchers.
Yeah, let's see what Cruz goes with here.
The 2-2 inside, and it's 3-2 on Judge.
Was that the 103-2 count we've had today?
101.
They saved a lot of time if they just started everybody with a 3-2 count.
like a Central Park softball league.
Yeah, let's go. It's 3-2. You either walk or you hit.
Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss. Threw something off speed, and Judge is down on strikes.
Looked like he went with a 3-2 breaking ball. Yep, you see the spin, and this is going to dive down and away. Well spotted, too. Knee high over the outside corner. Cruz came up with a pitch when he needed it.
So that leaves things for Stanton.
But he's not out of the woods yet.
Stanton 1 for 3. He's walked and singled, scored a run. And I believe that one caught Lance Barrett.
He says, I'm all right. Now you see how the umpires sit over the inside corner. Years ago they used to sit almost directly behind the catcher, but that's where most of the foul balls come. That's why they moved off to one of the corners. But still, you know, any place back there is kind of dangerous.
Inside.
Some people would say you don't get a good look at the outside corner from over there.
You think some people would be right?
Just saying. Now, also, when they sat behind the catchers, they had those big outside balloon chest protectors that they would push up with their hands just underneath the chin. But they said it was hard for them to see the low pitches when they wore those. Those have been gone for years. Umpiring is more uniform than it was back in the day.
Stanton ahead on the count, 3-1.
In fact, there used to be National League and American League umpires. Now the streamlined travel and all of that sort of thing, the umpires, you know, one umpiring crew could work at Citi Field and then show up at Yankee Stadium.
Stanton may have offered, he did not. So it's ball 4, no? Ball 4?
He wants to hit.
Nobody's moving. Now Stanton is.
The Blue Jays probably thought it was a strike. Yeah.
Brett Gardner was looking at him saying, like, hey, that's ball 4. And that's why Stanton was pointing to him as he ran down to first. Gardner having some fun with it. And so the base is now loaded for Clint Frazier, who replaced Aaron Hicks in the lineup when Hicks left with cramping in his left leg. That last pitch, by the way, the 300th of the day combined between the two teams. There were 165 pitches thrown through the first 3 innings of this game. Grounded to short. Can they turn it? They don't need to. There's 2 down, and so the force is made at second, and that will end the inning. Dylan Betances will come on, protecting a 3-run lead. Recap of today's contest, plus a look ahead to tomorrow's series finale. It's only on Yes. Bob Lorenz, John Flaherty, Meredith Morakovitz will have that for you. Bob and John back in our studios in Stamford, and Meredith working the clubhouse here in Toronto. On the Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees a 7-4 lead over the Blue Jays. And Dylan Betances on to face Smoke, Morales, and Pilar.
Dylan has been dealing tough to. He's always been tough to hit. So they have 168 batting average against.
Can you remember after he gave up that home run to J.D. Martinez in early May at Yankee Stadium, and he had struggled a little bit out of the gates, and he was at his locker and he said, I know the results weren't there tonight. I'm telling you I'm close. I'm close to regaining form. As Smoke fouls that down the right field line. Since that game, in 21 appearances, Betances has thrown 21 and 2/3 innings and allowed just 4 hits while striking out 36. Giving up 1 run over that span.
He's more than close. He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he knew it was coming.
Uh-huh.
Even after the results hadn't been there yet, he could feel it in his mechanics and the way his stuff felt, and he was right. These are his last 17 appearances. No runs allowed. Strike three, got him looking with the off speed.
Target is down from Higashioka, and just clipped the corner, at least close enough for Lance Barrett. Yeah, looked like it caught it. Maybe the front lip of the plate. And Smoke is called out on strikes.
Here's Kendrys Morales. 0-1.
I tell you one thing about pitchers who throw as hard as Chad Green and Betances and Aroldis Chapman. It's hard to square up that first fastball, and it's almost like they jump ahead right away. You know, just because you're swinging and you foul it back, or you're going to be late. It's hard to square up that first one.
Got to get used to that timing.
You got to get used. You got to quicken the hands up.
See the shift for Morales.
Another one at 99. It's almost as if when those type of pitchers are pitching, hitters are in defensive mode right from the start. You know, they kind of take all the fun out of hitting.
See the Yankees bullpen ERA. Third in the majors, and it's been particularly great over the last month and a half.
So one thing today, even though he didn't have his best stuff, Severino kept the streak intact. 3 runs or less. Now, was it 16 consecutive starts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Severino also in line to pick up his 14th win. There have been some long, pesky at-bats today.
Morales has had a couple of those today. I mean, he's a good hitter. And as I said, he maybe didn't have the first half he would like. So it's up to him to get it going in the second half.
Strike three, got him swinging. 2 down.
Well, this pitch was nowhere near the strike zone. It's just like he was determined to swing at anything that Betances threw up there. Low and away, almost hit him in the knee. He was in the swing mode. Dellin put him away for strikeout number 2 this inning.
There's Pilar. We had 1 of 2 home runs off Severino. First time this year Severino had allowed 2 home runs in a game as Pilar went around on that filthy off speed from Betances. Oh, and 2.
Oh, man. That one took a severe left turn.
The 0-2. Fouled off. Does he go back to the curveball?
I would throw one at least out of the strike zone, get him to chase it if he could, and let him get himself out.
The 0-2.
He tried to put one in the easy pass zone. That was 100 miles an hour.
Another 0-2 from Betances. That one's high and away at 98. Been using his fastball so much more this year.
Yeah. Makes his slider even more devastating.
The 1-2. Rounded foul. Driven to left field. Frazier over, makes the catch to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 frame with a couple of strikeouts for Betances. 7-4 as we head to the ninth. Ninth inning and a 7-4 Yankees lead. It'll be Andujar, Didi, and Brandon Drury. Andujar rips that fair down the left field line into the seats. It is a blistered ground rule double for Miguel Andujar.
Well, the man who leads the Yankees in 2 base hits picks up another one. As you called it, this one barely fair. Look at it hooking, hits on the chalk, scatters the fans. And Andy Fletcher pointing towards second base as the ball hops into the seats. '25th double of the year. Started the season in the minor leagues, and we just passed the halfway point of the season.
Kenny, I know you love observing batting practice,
Yeah.
watching guys. I'm always amazed at just how consistently hard Andujar hits the ball.
Yep. As we pointed out, he really doesn't get cheated with his swings. I think he's told Meredith in the past, I go up there trying to hit the ball hard.
That's it. Gregorius finds a hole, slapping it into left field, and Duhar will come around to score easily. Hits an RBI single for Didi Gregorius, and the Yankee lead is now 8-4.
Yeah, Didi finally got one through the infield, but this time he picked on the left side. And the Yankees, well, we said it was the tack-on portion of the game, and they've tacked on a run here. There it is. Nice hitting. Going with it, just slapping it into left field. And Duhar is going to score easily as Phil Nevin sends him home.
Now you wonder, now with the 4-run lead, is there any thought to sit Chapman down and maybe get Warren back up, who had been throwing with Betances in case the Yankees had taken the lead before, or increased the lead before he entered. Looks like Shreve is about to join Chapman. That's the man who gets to make those decisions. Chapman pitched 3 games in a row. July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Had the 4th off, and the Yankees had an off day the 5th. Didn't pitch yesterday, so he's had 3 straight days of rest after pitching in those 3 straight games.
I haven't actually seen Shreve throw a pitch as of yet. Maybe if the Yankees tack on a couple more here, he'll get the call.
Nice play there on the backhand by Bailey. By the way, that double from Andujar to start the inning, 109.6 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah, that's the reason why the fans were scattering that.
This is a souvenir I don't want.
Look out, incoming. Shreve has yet to throw a ball, so at this point it appears that Chapman's going to come in. Drink of water, maybe that's a sign he's going to get ready. Throw up a ball.
Strike 3, Drury down looking.
Cruz is going to pick up his 2nd strikeout since coming in out of the bullpen. It was sort of a front door slider. Target's low and away. He misses the target. In fact, he missed home plate.
Yeah.
He still got the call.
Caught the batter's box, though.
Yeah. That's not right.
There's Kyle Higashioka. Singled his last time up, his first non-home run hit in the big leagues. Chop toward the middle. Diaz doesn't get to the bag in time as he throws to first for the out. Good hustle by Didi. He's safe at 2nd with 2 down.
Would he have been better off to flip to Gurriel? Let's see if Gurriel was actually at the bag. Diaz had decided to take it on his own. Yeah, Gurriel's I don't know. I don't even know if he touched the bag. Nope, can't get him. Oh, look out, Didi.
I think he would have had him, though, and he just initially just thrown it to Gurriel.
Yeah, that's.
He was in position.
Yeah, you can flip the ball and move faster than you can run. So Didi took one to the neck or to the face there. It looked like he's okay.
Here's Bird. Had that broken bat infield single his last time up that just looped over into the left side of the mound.
Sometimes those are the ones that get you going, though. Those little broken bat hits.
Now Shreve is throwing. Maybe a single from Bird that would score Didi could change who comes in the ninth. Three infielders on the right side for Bird, who's heading the count 2-0. Big swing and a miss, 2-1. Three and one. With Brett Gardner on deck. And Bird works a walk. John Axford, who we saw last night up in the Toronto pen.
Yankees have walked 9 times in this game.
It's a lot of walks.
And most of them are on 3-2 counts.
And that's why we've had well over 300 pitches in this game. I think we're north of 350 at this point.
Make that 10 times they've walked.
1-0 on Gardner. And it looks like Cruz is shaken up. Toronto training staff is going to come out along with DeMarlo Hale. John Gibbons has been ejected in this game, so Hale serving as the manager.
You can almost tell by the way he's hanging that shoulder that there's something going on. He's got an issue.
And that is going to do it. Looks like for Cruz.
You can see how he kind of doubled over after throwing that last pitch.
So Axford is coming in. Cruz is headed out. We'll step aside a moment. Top of the ninth, 2 on, 2 out for the Yanks. for Toronto. He would have as much time as he needs to warm up. He had already started warming in the pen, though.
Usually the relievers, it doesn't take him all that long to begin with. We saw Axford last night. He worked an inning, gave up a hit, struck out 2, and walked 1.
Now you see John Axford wears number 77. He chose this number because he is a Toronto native, and the Blue Jays franchise inaugural season was 1977. Now, what did the first game look like?
Yeah.
Yep, that was about right. Par for the course.
They were playing the Chicago White Sox. That's Doug Ault, who hit 2 home runs in a snowstorm. It was Exhibition Stadium. They won the opener. Didn't want to call it. There was no roof on Exhibition Stadium. And I can recall that year because we didn't come in for the first time until June. So we kind of lucked out.
Those are the months you want to be here.
Yeah, by that time, the snow had melted. And it was a beautiful day, I can recall. But Exhibition Stadium, it could be cold, it could get foggy. While he's warming up here, we were playing a game and it got real foggy, and there was a fly ball hit to the outfield, and I couldn't see it. We had the lead, and if they had called the game, it would have been an official game. So the umpire at second base was Don Deckinger, and he said, we're going to continue the game. And I said, we can't see the ball out here in the outfield. And he accused Earl Weaver of telling us to miss the ball so they called the game and we would win.
Wow.
And I said, no, I wouldn't do that to begin with. I don't want to look bad out here. So I came up the next inning figuring all I had to do is hit a fly ball. They wouldn't be able to catch it. I hit one. Bobby Baylor's playing left field for Toronto. He lunged at the last second and caught it. Oh. I was so ticked off.
Now, did you guys go on to win the game?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay.
But the thing is that they should have at least held it up. It didn't really if they didn't want to call it, just wait till the fog lifted. I mean, we're only a few blocks away from Lake Ontario, so.
No such issues with today's weather.
No such issues with this roof either when it's closed.
So Gardner has a 1-0 count. He'll face Axford now. Strike 1. Didi is on second, an RBI single in this inning. Bird is on first. He walked. Shreve and Chapman continue to throw. Now, without knowing for sure, you would think the implication to that is if the Yankees added another run, it would be Shreve, and if they didn't, it would be Chapman.
Now, Shreve is now backed off, which leads me to believe that unless Gardner comes up with a big hit here, might be Chapman coming in.
The 1-2. Strike 3 got him looking. Gardner knew it. So the Blue Jays strand 2, but the Yankees do tack on 1 courtesy of Gregorius after the Andujar double. Chapman coming in. to try and put the finishing touches on an 8-4 Yankee lead. Tyler Wade is in at second base for Brandon Drury.
Good numbers for Chapman, including 24 saves and 25 attempts. And with those numbers, he might be headed for the All-Star game.
I would be surprised if he's not. 65 strikeouts in 37 and 2/3 innings. And we saw this last homestand. He was pumping that fastball above 104.
Yeah.
Been throwing way more sliders this season, though.
Throwing them for strikes, too.
It'll be Grichuk, Maley, and Diaz. 7, 8, and 9 in the Blue Jays order. 97 inside. The Yankees 18-2-2 in their last 22 series. A win today, and they'll have a chance to win this series tomorrow. By the way, the Red Sox have just gotten underway against Kansas City. Night game out in KC. It's a foul ball, 2-1. There's 96 there from Chapman.
Just pound the strike zone, get that first one out.
Strike 3. Got him with the slider. 1 down.
First one that he threw, that whole at bat kind of dropped out of the zone, but he got Grichuk to chase, and there's 1 down.
And now Stevie Donahue's going to come out to the mound along with Aaron Boone. Marlon Abreu, the Yankees translator, check on Chapman. We've seen the velocity has been down.
Yeah, well,
but I don't know if they saw something after he hopped off the mound following the strikeout. And you could see, it looked like Boone just mouthed not worth it.
They'll bring in somebody else. Now, Shreve had been throwing, so it shouldn't take him too long to get going.
So Aroldis Chapman will leave. Let's see, after he delivers this pitch.
Yeah, this something's not right there, and it has something to do with, I believe, with a leg.
Well, remember, he's been dealing and has talked about just some tendonitis in his knee that he's had to manage. He's talked about it on and off over the last month or so.
You might get a better look at it from this angle. Watch the follow through. There's the slider for the strikeout, and yeah, just like a slight limp, false step.
So we'll step aside with Shreve coming in and the Yankees leading 8-4, 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. of Aroldis Chapman, who struck out Randall Grichuk, but buckled at the end of his delivery and grimaced. And the trip to the mound, you could see Aaron Boone mouthing not worth it, and Aroldis Chapman leaving the mound. Now, as Meredith just reminded us, Chapman has been dealing with tendinitis in his left knee, wears a brace on it. So we'll see if there's any relation there. Of course, stay tuned to the post game as Meredith gets those answers. Also, we'll check in on Aaron Hicks, who left this game with cramping in his left leg.
Not to say that it would be a costly victory, because anytime you win, it's a good thing, but you don't want guys dropping out of the possibility of playing the next day or being available the next day.
Especially those two guys have been terrific.
Yeah, they have been.
One and two.
Shreve got to work in last night's game. All of 1/3 of an inning, got a ground ball out.
Rolled slowly, going to be a tough play. Shreve able to make it. Nicely done for the second out.
Pitchers work on this play time and time again in spring training, showing athletic ability and versatility. The spins, throws, accurate throw to Bird for the out. Nice play by Shreve. Watch it bounce off the mound. Lefty falls off to the right side. He has to recover all the way to the foul line, make the play for out number 2. Nicely done.
Shreve had perhaps his biggest moment of the season, July 3rd against Atlanta. Got 2 huge outs in the 8th. As the Yankees bullpen was short that day, and he was called on in a very high leverage situation, able to maintain a 1-run lead. That's blasted deep to left field. Frazier looking up, and that is long gone. Aledmys Diaz homers, and it's a 3-run game.
Like Kevin Millar, who earlier had hit his 8th home run of the year. That's number 8 for Diaz.
And it's number 8 surrendered for Shreve.
8s are wild today. Right there. Right in the middle of the plate.
Here's Teoscar Hernandez pinch hitting. Strike 1. Yankees got 4 runs in the first inning of this game. Started with Brett Gardner and Aaron Judge going back to back. They added 3 in the 3rd, tacked on 1 in the 9th. Luis Severino battled through 5 innings. He's in line for his 14th win. And Toronto is down to its final strike. Aaron Judge grinning. Looking to be all smiles a pitch from now.
A little too high. Couldn't get Hernandez to chase. You saw Higashioka just with his bare hand kind of motion up. Just tossing a few to the mitt. Chad Green.
Swing and a tip held on to by Higashioka, and that will do it. The Yankees win it 8-5 the final, and it sets up a rubber game here tomorrow. With that Yankees win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Yankees win, get a large 3-topping pizza for only $7.99 at papajohns.com with promo code YankeesWin. Kenny, nice bounce back win from the Yankees today.
Yeah, they even up the series, and right away off the bats of Gardner and Judge, you had to lead back-to-back home runs of J. Happ to get things started. Tacked on some runs at the end, and have a chance to win the series tomorrow afternoon.
We'll be back to wrap things up in a moment. The Yankees take it